welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm your host, Nina.
Hello, everybody. I am your host, Shane, and today we are looking at day 2 of The Diamond as Big as the Ritz.
Okay.
And when we're talking about the Ritz, we're talking about the Ritz-Carlton Hotel.
Yes.
So a diamond that is as big as a hotel. So we've got a couple of characters.
Yeah, we have
Percy.
John and Percy.
Right.
So John is from a boring old town, and Percy is his classmate that he met at boarding school, right?
Boarding school.
Fancy boarding school.
What is a boarding school anyway?
It's usually when you go to school away from home, right? And you usually live there.
And it's not like university. It's like grade school, right?
Or
like
high school.
Yeah, right. It's not like going away to college. It's like elementary school, junior high school, those kind of things. And you stay away from your family. Okay. And then Percy's going to take him somewhere. Where's he going to take him?
To, I guess, his hometown or where he's from, right?
Yeah, and it's kind of strange, and things just get stranger and stranger the closer they get to the house, right?
Because he's saying things like, my dad has a diamond as big as the Ritz, and then they see this fancy car that comes to collect them. And then when they arrive, there's actually a really magnificent castle, right?
Right, yeah.
So there's all of these signs that obviously Percy is extremely rich.
And Percy says, like, underneath us, in this mountain, that's where the diamond is.
Yeah, so
like underneath this house.
Yeah, so that's the part where it's like, oh, interesting. Could it be true?
So this story is what we can say, we can call it interesting. And it's about to get a lot more interesting.
Ooh.
So let's go ahead and get into it.
Sounds good.
Okay.
The summer passed like a beautiful dream. During this time, John grew close to, and eventually fell madly in love with, Percy's sister, Kismine, and they planned to elope. But one afternoon, Kismine confessed a horrifying secret. Every visitor was to be killed before they could leave. The family couldn't risk anyone discovering their diamond mountain. John was going to be murdered too. That night, explosions suddenly lit up the sky as government air forces attacked the estate. An escaped guest had revealed the family's secret, and the government wanted to take over the land.
All right, now we're looking at day 2 of The Diamond as Big as the Ritz.
Okay, so let's get back into the story and see where this story goes. Okay, the summer passed like a beautiful dream. Okay, nice.
Okay, we had a good time.
Well, yeah, and you're living in this fancy place or staying in this fancy place, so okay. During this time, John grew close to and eventually fell madly in love with Percy's sister, Kismine, and they planned to elope.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Summer romance.
Yeah. Right.
But one afternoon, Kismine confessed a horrifying secret. Every visitor was to be killed before they could leave.
Why,
What?
What?
Okay, so
Wait a second.
she confessed this information. Confess means to admit something, usually something wrong or bad. So, yeah. For example, Alex confessed that he had broken the vase. That is definitely something very horrifying.
Yes. Now, what does it mean to horrify? Horrify means to fill someone with a strong feeling of shock, terror, or intense disgust. Oof. So, for example, the news of the train accident horrified the entire community. Yeah, so all right, so he's going to elope. So eloping also just means to
run away.
Kind of run away and get married with somebody without like a full wedding.
Yes.
You just kind of go, maybe just the two of you,
In secret,
and somebody
maybe.
legally marries the two of you together. But it's kind of in secret, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, continuing. The family couldn't risk anyone discovering their diamond mountain. Okay, well, yeah, if you have a diamond mountain, you got to protect it. right?
Well, maybe, Percy shouldn't have invited John in this case.
Yeah.
If he's the friend.
If he's a real friend, they'll invite you there. It's just so basically it's like, hey, I want you to die, so I'm going to take you to my house.
Well, before then, I will give you a summer to not forget.
Yes. You'll never forget. Okay. John was going to be murdered too. Yeah, obviously. So any visitor. So John, of course, would be counted as a visitor who's going to be murdered. All right, Hanny, why don't we go to you and we'll find out what's going to happen after that.
Okay.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny， 今天要继续来读这个故事 The Diamond as Big as the Ritz。那随着时间流逝 ，John 跟 Percy 的妹妹 Kismet 越来越亲近了，那最终深深爱上他，两个人还计划要私奔。不过呢，就在某一天下午 ，Kismet 说出一个惊人的秘密，也就是每一位访客啊，在离开前都难逃一死。这一家人绝对不能让任何人发现他们的钻石山。John 他同样也会遭到谋害。好，单字 confess 这个动词表示坦诚、承认，像承认错误啊、罪行等等，也可以表达吐露，像吐露内心想法或感情。再来 horrify 这个动词表示使惊恐、使震惊、使感到骇然。文中是用它的现在分词 horrifying 来当形容词，形容可怕的、骇人听闻的。这话课文中。
Okay, thank you, Hanny. Now let's get back into the story. That night, explosions suddenly lit up the sky as government air forces attacked the estate.
Wait, what?
Maybe they want the diamond so that the country can be rich.
But why suddenly? Like when John's visiting, now all of a sudden the government does airstrikes on this residence.
Bad timing?
It's just pretty bad timing. Okay.
An escaped guest had revealed the family's secret, and the government wanted to take over the land.
Oh, so not everybody who goes there dies. Someone has escaped.
Yeah, well, he got lucky.
He revealed the secret that there's a humongous diamond there. So the government, of course, wants the land because that's the government for you.
Yep.
Government, can't trust them. What's an explosion?
An explosion is a sudden loud burst. So in this case, it's like a bomb, right? You have an explosion. For example, the explosion shook all the houses on the street.
Oh, okay. All right, why don't we go to Hanny? We'll be right back.
Shane 老师刚刚用 humongous 来描述那颗巨大钻石。humongous 是形容极大的、巨大无比的，它其实是由 huge 跟 monsters 结合而来的。好，那么故事写到，在那天夜里，爆炸的火光突然照亮夜空，那么政府的空军正对着庄园发动攻击。原来是一名逃脱的宾客揭露了这个家族的秘密，那政府就打算要接管这片土地。单字 explosion 它是名词，表示爆炸、爆发。它的相关词性 explosive 可以当名词来表达炸药、爆炸物，也可以当形容词来形容易爆的、爆炸性的。这话课文中。
Wow, so John is really going through it, isn't he?
Yeah, so what started off as just strange in like some small ways, we have a big diamond in our house, not really believing that or whatever. Now it's become really serious. He finds
there's
out
a war going on.
He finds out he's going to get murdered basically by just being a guest there. Yeah, we have a whole war going on, like you said. I can't even imagine how this story is going to end.
All right, I guess we'll have to find out after this break.
All right, so let's go to the second part of the story and we'll be right back.
John found Kismet, and they ran up the mountain while bombs fell like rain. Through the smoke, John watched Percy's father try to bribe God himself with the enormous diamond, begging for mercy in vain. When his prayer was ignored, Percy's father chose to blow up the entire mountain rather than let others have it. The massive explosion destroyed the castle and the diamond. John and Kismet were the only survivors. When Kismet emptied her pockets, she realized she had grabbed the wrong jewelry while escaping, just worthless glass. They walked away together to start a new life. leaving behind the dream of unlimited wealth and facing an uncertain but more honest future.
Okay, so we have the government attacking this, basically this home.
Yes.
Right? So what happens now? Okay, so John found Kismin, and they ran up the mountain while bombs fell like rain.
Wow, a lot of bombs.
So a bomb, basically, we were talking about an explosion before. This is what will explode, is a bomb. A bomb is a container filled with explosive, incendiary, or other material designed to explode on impact or via a timer. So it might have a timer, or when it hits something, it just boom, it explodes. For example, the soldiers carefully removed the bomb from the road. All right, so the government is basically bombing them. That's not cool.
Not cool at all.
Well, then what happens?
Continuing. Through the smoke, John watched Percy's father try to bribe God himself with the enormous diamond, begging for mercy in vain. Wow. So he's praying to God, please, if you stop this madness, you can keep the diamond.
I'll give you the diamond, God. And God's like, I don't need a diamond.
What am I going to do with that?
That's already my diamond. I own everything. I'm God.
I
right?
made it.
But they said he did it in vain. What does that mean if you do something in vain?
Usually it means for nothing.
For nothing.
Right?
Like nothing's going to come of it.
Yeah.
So you do it for no reason at all because there's no outcome. All right, continuing. When his prayer was ignored, Percy's father chose to blow up the entire mountain rather than let others have it.
Wow, that's so crazy.
So now he has a bomb big enough like in his house to just blow up the entire, like, whoa, this story has just gone like right off the rails. Totally crazy. So I wonder what the government's going to do now that this place has been bombed. Oh, okay. Why don't we go to Hanny? We'll find out what happens at the end.
Sounds good.
好，那在慌乱中 ，John 就找到了 Kismin， 他们冒着如雨般的炸弹，两个人努力的往山上逃。John 这时候有看见 Percy 的父亲试图要用那颗巨大钻石来贿赂上帝，苦苦哀求怜悯，但是徒劳无功。既然这个祷告是没有获得回应的，他就选择炸毁整座山，也不愿让它落入他人的手中。好，那么单字 bomb， 它当名词表示炸弹，也可以当动词来指轰炸。Shane 老师这时候有用到 incendiary 这个字是形容能引起燃烧的，还有提到 timer 这个名词表示计时器。好，那这边有两个重点，第一个重点是感官动词，它是指看、听、闻、感觉之类的动词，包括 watch、see、look at。Hear, listen to, smell, feel 等等。那么常见的用法，我们来看看。第一个是感官动词加受词加原形动词，这时候是指事实或过程。例如 ，We stood there and watched kids play soccer。我们站在那里看小朋友们踢足球。第二个句型，感官动词加受词加现在分词 VING， 这是表达动作正在进行。例如 ，He felt something moving in the dark。他感觉到黑暗中有东西正在动。第三个句型，感官动词加受词加过去分词 PP， 这是指被动或是完成。例如 ，She saw a police car parked in front of her neighbor's house。她看到一辆警车停在邻居的家门前，那车子是被停的，我们用 PP 表示。再来，第二个重点是 rather than 的用法。首先，它可以当连接词去表达而非，而不是怎么样，那必须连接词性相同的字词。注意一下，如果是连接不定词，那么 rather than 后面那个 to be 的 to 常常会省略。像 Dave prefers to jog in the park rather than work out at a gym。Dave 比较喜欢在公园慢跑，而不是在健身房运动，所以这边 work out at a gym 前方就省略了 to。再来，它还可以当介系词，那后面要接名词或动名词，这时候就相当于 instead of。举例来说 ，Rick sold his car rather than getting it fixed。Rick 把车卖掉，而不是送修。好，那这话课文中。
Okay, so this is pretty crazy so far. Let's see what happens and what the dad does. The massive explosion destroyed the castle and the diamond. Okay, so the dad blew up everything.
Blew up everything. Yeah.
John and Kismin were the only survivors.
So the dad not only blew up everything, but he blew up himself.
Yes, and his other son.
Everybody else, and the only survivors now. Well, I wonder about the government, though. Did the government survive?
I don't think so.
They were just flying by in airplanes, so they probably
they may
survived
have.
too.
Yeah, okay, I don't know.
But basically, John and Kismin were the only survivors, at least there at the land where they were. Okay.
Yeah, okay, so the explosion destroyed everything.
What does that mean?
To destroy means to completely break or damage something. For example, the fire completely destroyed the forest.
Okay. All right, so continuing. When Kismin emptied her pockets, she realized she had grabbed the wrong jewelry while escaping. Just worthless glass.
Okay, so she was smart enough to think we're escaping, we should bring something valuable with us. So we have some money maybe, but she grabbed the wrong thing.
Yeah, she just got some colorful, worthless glass, I guess.
Oh no.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
Continuing. They walked away together to start a new life, leaving behind the dream of unlimited wealth and facing an uncertain but more honest future.
Okay. All right.
Well, they just lost all their money and...
But they have each other.
That's true. What about her brother and her dad, though?
That's pretty sad.
That is pretty sad.
That is pretty sad. All right,
but at least they're alive and they get to live together.
They get to, okay. So let's go to Hanny and we'll be right back.
Okay.
刚刚说 Percy 的父亲选择炸毁整座山，那么剧烈的爆炸把城堡跟钻石一并摧毁了。John 跟 Kismin 成了唯一的幸存者。Kismin 他翻遍了口袋，才发现自己仓皇逃离时抓错了东西，带成了那种毫无价值的玻璃碎片，而不是价值连城的首饰。于是这两个人呢，就一起踏上崭新的生活。他们抛下财富，迎向未知，但是却更踏实的未来。好，单字 destroy 这个动词表示摧毁、彻底破坏的意思。介华课文中。
Okay, now we have a what do you think question.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think after a story like this? So what is the question?
Shane, why do you think Percy invited John to visit his home? Knowing that John will die if he leaves?
Yeah, that's really the big question, right? This is your buddy, it's your friend. It's not like this is your secret enemy.
Yeah.
And actually you really hate this guy and you pretended to be his friend. It's his actual friend. So why would he invite him to visit his home? The only thing I could think of is that maybe he just didn't really believe that his friend would die, or maybe somebody else escaped. So maybe he thought, well, I can maybe help John escape, or maybe I can convince my dad not to kill him, or
maybe
I don't know. What do you think?
Maybe he wanted to keep John there forever, or maybe he knew that John and Kismin would hit it off and they would just live there.
Oh, and then they wouldn't have to leave,
Yeah.
so they wouldn't have to get killed because they could maybe keep the secret. He'll keep the secret just like family.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me.
All right, why don't we go ahead and review the story again? Maybe you guys can figure it out, and we'll see you next time.
All right, see you guys.
Bye-bye.
The summer passed like a beautiful dream. During this time, John grew close to, and eventually fell madly in love with, Percy's sister, Kismin, and they planned to elope. But one afternoon, Kismin confessed a horrifying secret. Every visitor was to be killed before they could leave. The family couldn't risk anyone discovering their diamond mountain. John was going to be murdered too. That night, explosions suddenly lit up the sky as government air forces attacked the estate. An escaped guest had revealed the family's secret, and the government wanted to take over the land. John found Kismin, and they ran up the mountain while bombs fell like rain. Through the smoke, John watched Percy's father try to bribe God himself with the enormous diamond, begging for mercy in vain. When his prayer was ignored, Percy's father chose to blow up the entire mountain rather than let others have it. The massive explosion destroyed the castle and the diamond. John and Kismine were the only survivors. When Kismine emptied her pockets, she realized she had grabbed the wrong jewelry while escaping, just worthless glass. They walked away together to start a new life, leaving behind the dream of unlimited wealth and facing an uncertain but more honest future.
最后来复习今天课文里的单字文法。单字的部分有 confess 动词，表示坦诚、承认，像承认错误罪行，或是吐露，像吐露内心想法或感情。horrify 动词，表示使惊恐、使震惊、使感到骇然。explosion 名词，表示爆炸、爆发。bomb 当名词是指炸弹，当动词表示轰炸。destroy 动词，它表示摧毁、彻底破坏。文法的部分，第一个学到感官动词的常见用法。第一个是用感官动词加受词加原形动词，这是指事实或过程。感官动词加受词加 VING， 这是指动作正在进行。感官动词加受词加 PP， 这是指被动或完成。再来第二个，我们学到 rather than 的用法。它可以当连接词，表达而非而不是，必须连接词性相同的字词。它还可以当介系词，那么后面是接名词或动名词，这时候相当于 instead of。好，那以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Hey, it's Kiwi on the street. I'm Kiki.
And I'm Winnie.
One of my favorite things to do is bird watching.
But sometimes living in the city, that could be a little tricky. But don't worry, because today we're at the zoo and we're going to the aviary. All birds have different types of beaks. Some are small, some are big. Some use them to crack some seeds open, and some even use them to catch fish.
Some birds look extra fancy with feathers on their head. That is called a crest.
Claws are important because it helps birds stay on branches, hold their food, or even catch their prey. Birds are amazing creatures with some really special features.
So next time you see a bird, take a closer look. What kind of beak do they have? Or look at their powerful claws.
That's all for today. Remember to follow us on Instagram and send us a DM or an email if there's something you want to say in English but you just don't know how. Kiki, anything you want to say?
I'm gonna look for some chickens. Kiwi later.
I don't think they have chickens here.